What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Talk and their 1991 album Laughingstock. Thank you as always to Stuart. And the next track is After the Flood, which, given the use of the definite article the, makes me think we could be talking about scriptural or mythological notions of a global or at least very large regional flood, which, to be fair, is an aspect of a number of different cultural/religious paradigms, and most of them relating to scriptures written in antiquity, or what we now call ancient history. In any case, I do wonder what post-apocalyptic environment may be discussed here. Now, of course, it could be after the flood of emotions. There could be more figurative meanings at hand, but I'm inclined to take it more literally, and again, mythologically/historically, and of course, if you're referring to after the flood, then you're suggesting that at least some people or some society or some observers have survived the flood event and thus are in this post-catastrophe type of environment. So that's what I would think in advance. To be fair, and as we've gone forward in time with Talk, a lot of their work has gotten, I would say, musically and lyrically, and to the degree I could hear the lyrics, because sometimes Mr. Hollis, the way he sings, I can't always pick the words out clearly on a first listen, but they've gotten like more esoteric, more artful, which isn't a criticism of their work before, but it feels, again, much less commercial oriented and more art music, more esoteric. And so in that regard, I don't necessarily expect to get a full, clear, and discrete narrative or even scene setting, and it could be more, again, about emotions or feelings, even if it does relate to an actual aftermath of a literal flood. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Talk. The tune is After the Flood, and it's from their 1991 album Laughingstock. Another artful, esoteric, and I think quite lengthy journey. That's got to be like 10 minutes, right? Not quite, but not far away. It's over 9 minutes. So, yeah, again, I don't quite know what to make of it lyrically slash thematically. I did only catch some bits and pieces. There was one line I think pretty clearly. It was like, shake my hand. And there was a line, I think, about like expecting something. And maybe there were like 2 lines in a row about something related to expectations and or the narrators expecting one thing or another. I will say though, like without even knowing quite what's happening lyrically, sonically, it feels post-apocalyptic, not in a dystopian way necessarily, though there was, especially in that like middle section, there was this very tension-filled cacophony, like a very dissonant streak running through the track, which went for a couple minutes, and it wasn't just like one sonic layer. There were a couple layers which had tension and were a bit dissonant and really sort of challenged the listener, not in a way that's like, oh, that's awful to listen to, but more like you could feel the tension and the perhaps, lack of cohesion. It was a bit discordant, I think is the best way to say it. And again, post-apocalyptic situation, whether more literally or figuratively, I feel like even if there were people trying to rebuild things or trying to pick up the pieces of what had happened, it wouldn't be simple. It wouldn't just be a bundle of joy in all respects. So even if there was a persistence, a survival, an inherent humanity among those who found themselves after the flood, I feel like there would be difficulties, there would be problems, there would be challenges, uncertainties, and I feel like, to the degree that I'm thinking about the title, all that kind of came across in the music, though again, there were other parts that had a warmer, lusher sound to them. Overall, I'd say again, it had a bit of this abstract, almost psychedelic jazz feel to it. Definitely down tempo and relatively simple in terms of the arrangement. It wasn't an overly dense tune. It was, again, a bit airy, atmospheric, psychedelic, a bit esoteric, and I think, again, Hollis's vocals fit right in with that. So, yeah, I don't really know what to make of it thematically or in terms of what scene might be painted, other than, again, maybe some hints without much of a clear idea. But I do find it compelling, and again, it's really interesting to me how earlier in their career, it's not like they were overly commercial, but there were tunes, I think, that were more like, you could totally hear this being played on the radio, or like, kind of mainstream, like pop radio. The last album and a half, the last 2 albums have been something else entirely, and just very off the beaten path, very unique, like they're just kind of doing their own thing, and it's not a style of music that I think, would be, oh, that's clearly going to be a single that's going to fly off the shelves, and it's, a nice and tidy 3.5-minute tune. It's anything but that. So I give full respect to them for just really exploring their artistic visions and doing so in a way that is not beholden to the expectations of the industry or, what's going to make a chart-topping album or single. They were obviously going for artistry more than commercial viability, and I say that with, again, the best of sympathies. So yeah, just really interesting to hear their music at this point. Once again, thank you to Stuart. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.